he suffers the same punishment every day for eternity.
From the story of Sisyphus, in which we have a person who's engaged in an absolutely pointless endeavor for eternity, we get the modern English word of Sisyphean, which describes some kind of a task that seems very arduous and also entirely pointless.
The story of Sisyphus sent a strong message to the ancient Greeks that no one can outwit death or its master.
Hades is the one that humans most try to trick or deceive or get around. And we can understand this. Hades is that god whose will over you and whose power over you is absolute. No one can negotiate their way out of death.
But even after Sisyphus, there are still those who try. One of them is Orpheus, a musician who makes the sweetest music in the world. It will become his weapon against the Lord of the Dead.
Orpheus was the founder of the musical tradition. He was the person who invented poetry and invented music. He was particularly adept with the lyre, which was an ancient musical instrument, a stringed instrument, shaped sort of like a U with a bar across the top and strings coming down.
One of the important things you need to remember about the word music in Greek, aiados, it means both song, but it also means magical incantation. So Orpheus engaged in magic when he sung.
There is only one thing Orpheus loves more than music: his stunning young bride, Eurydice.
One of the profoundly sad things about the Orpheus and Eurydice story is just how perfectly happy and in love they were. And one of the things about the Greeks is that if you're happy, something's going to happen, because it doesn't belong to mortals to be that happy.
One day, as Eurydice picks fruit in a grove, she's spotted by a satyr, a hideous half-goat, half-man beast known for its uncontrollable sex drive.
Satyrs represented the male force of nature, uncontrolled. It was pure appetite. It was the desire to procreate and mate.
The satyr lunges for Eurydice. She tries to escape. But the satyr corners her. She backs away, terrified, and slips into a pit of poisonous vipers. This is where Orpheus finds her, but he is too late. She is in the clutches of Hades.
Orpheus is so in love with Eurydice that he grieves her as no human being has ever grieved anyone.
Orpheus refuses to accept his wife's death. He resolves to challenge Hades and bring back his wife, alive.
Life cannot possibly go on without Eurydice. With his lyre as an only weapon, he resolves to go down to the underworld.
Orpheus begins a treacherous descent into the depths of the earth. Failure in his quest will doom his wife forever. Success will make him a hero.
It's almost as if you can't be a truly Greek hero unless you have been to the underworld and back. It is a very frequent theme in Greek literature. It was something they liked to think about. Death is something that everyone shares. We can't help but think about it.
With his beautiful and sad songs, Orpheus charms his way past the boatman Charon and across the river Styx. But another terrifying obstacle awaits him on the other side. Cerberus, the three-headed guard dog of Hades.
Cerberus was stationed at the gates of the underworld. He was there to monitor those who came in and out. No one could get in or out without going past this dog.
This ferocious dog had 3 heads and was big, much bigger than other dogs, and much stronger than other dogs. It's a beast that they see and tremble before.
With trembling fingers, Orpheus strums his lyre. Cerberus is spellbound, and the musician has his opening. But his true test is inside the gates. Hades himself.
He's going up to the great god Hades and just hoping that his command of music will make Hades do what he wants. But his faith, his confidence, is not in him as the musician, but in the power of music.
Orpheus will attempt to do what no mortal ever has, to enchant the Lord of the Dead.
His song was so beautiful and so grief-stricken that everyone, including Hades, wept. And this is the god of the dead. He doesn't weep easily.
Another figure watches from the shadows. Orpheus's dead wife, Eurydice. Hades is so moved by the music, he decides to give Orpheus a chance to win his wife's freedom.
Hades recognizes the power of love and loss for the first time. He cannot understand lost love because he's immortal. But the song connects with him. And because of that power, because of that song, Orpheus is allowed to bring Eurydice back.
On one condition, Orpheus has to walk out of Hades and trust that Eurydice is following behind him. But if he looks back to make sure, he will lose her forever.
As Orpheus and Eurydice are making their way to the world above, Orpheus begins to doubt. He begins to wonder, is Eurydice really there? Is Hades playing some kind of terrible trick on him? And as he gets closer and closer and closer to the world above, this doubt grows and grows and grows in him. And eventually, just as they are about to break through to the surface, he can't take it anymore, and he turns around and he sees Eurydice.
And when he does and catches eyes with her, she instantly gets dragged back down into the underworld.
Hades has proven once again that his power over the dead is absolute. But his authority will soon be challenged by a power far greater than him. It will be the ultimate clash of the gods, recorded for all time in the Book of Revelation. Hades has proven once again that his power over the dead is absolute. He has taken Orpheus's wife, Eurydice. Orpheus is desolate. After returning from the underworld, the musician travels deep into the wilderness and sings to everyone he meets about the tragedy of death. This is the myth, but what is the connection to reality? An amazing archaeological find is shedding new light on how the ancient Greeks viewed the master of death and his domain. Over the last 2 centuries, mysterious gold inscriptions have been discovered in ancient grave sites.
Many of them have been found in a place that suggests that they were originally put on the mouth of the corpse when the corpse was buried. And they're shaped like lifts, and so it's almost as if the inscription on the tablet is meant to be speaking on behalf of the dead.
They are covered with references to Hades, the god and the place. They read like directions into the underworld from someone who's been there. You will find to the left of the house of Hades a spring. As soon as the soul has left the light of the sun, go to the right, being very careful.